Hello, everyone, and welcome to a fine sunny in the East Coast show. I am, as you see on the top corner there, over there, no reason. Fantasy football. I am JT, aka the Master, and I'm presenting No Reason. Today on this show, we're going to go through running backs. I'm going to attempt to go through running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. And maybe quarterbacks if we get to them. All right. I think we're going to have a lively conversation. Average draft position in fantasy football. That's what I'm talking about. I expect Mr. FSP, who I'm going to show you right now, is going to have some discussion or some disagreements with, but that's okay, because we can't agree on everything, obviously, but we all have to have a different mindset, and we have independent minds, and it is what it is.
Agreements. I don't know what happened. All right, here we go.
Okay. How you doing, man? How you been?
I'm good. I don't know what just happened. Like you had a technical difficulty.
I had no technical difficulty here. Hey, glitches happen, man. This is streaming, so anything can happen. I've seen many a program, live air, on TV. People freeze up, drop off, come back. It is.
I see what happened.
What's that?
Your background's gone.
Yeah, my background. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It comes and goes. But as you see, on up there in the corner is what we're talking about. For no reason, fantasy football. At least I have it somewhere. All right.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out what was the issue, but I see now. Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about average draft position in fantasy football. And let me get to this real quick. Let me put it this way. I'm going to bring this up. Okay. And we're going to talk about tight ends. Now, there's been earlier talk. You had a friend of yours, I should say, that was on the show, and he is a guy that loves tight ends. Okay. You love tight ends. That's fine. But the history of tight ends is not good. The history of tight ends is not good. And what I'm going to say this, okay? We're talking about rookie tight ends for one, which is not a good is not a good history of it. Okay, there's only two rookie tight ends that had over 1,000 yards. One was 62 years ago, and that was Mike Ditka. And one was in 2021. That's exactly 60 years gap between Mike Ditka and Kyle Pitts. Okay. Kyle Pitts had 1,026 yards and only one touchdown. And Mike Ditka had 1,076 yards and 12 touchdowns. So when you have an average draft position of a tight end, and people are pumping up these tight ends, there's a few rookie tight ends that Dalton Kincaid happens to be a tight end 14, and his average draft position is 135. Mr. FSP, what's your thoughts on Mr. Dalton Kincaid, the highest ranked rookie that I'm looking at right now in the tight end position?
I don't know who you just asked about, but I'm assuming it's me. Dalton Kincaid. Listen, I think if Dalton was drafted to a different team, he would have better fantasy draft value. You say, well, he went to Buffalo and they throw the ball a lot. Yes, but Dawson Knox is there. Dawson Knox isn't that bad a receiving tight end. He's also a good inline blocking tight end. Kincaid, not so much. Truthfully, I don't see Kincaid getting drafted in fantasy.
You don't think he needs to be
drafted? I see him. Well, let me put it this way.
Second tight end, maybe?
Maybe a tight end 2, really a tight end 3. Only because you don't know where he's going to fit in that system.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, there are only like 4 or 5 top tight ends, right?
Right.
So if I'm looking at that number, anybody below that 5th or 6th tight end really doesn't have that much value.
Okay.
So I don't see everybody's gonna have to get a tight end that plays with the tight end in the fantasy league. But Kincaid would not be on my radar as my starter.
Okay.
He would be a waiver wire pickup for me.
All right. So I'm going to go and
well, can I add one more thing to that?
Excuse me?
I need to add one more thing to that.
Go ahead.
If he were to land or were to have landed in Los Angeles for the Rams or the Saints, for example, that's a totally different story. Then I have him up there as a top 10 tight end because I know they're going to use him like crazy. But where he landed is why I said I have him as a waiver wire pickup or really late round draft pick.
All right. Well, that he was listed as a tight end 15. All right. I'm going to go on the bottom of the scale, and I'm going to go to the top of the scale. And right now, I'm going to go to the top of the scale, and I don't think that you're going to agree with me, but I'm going to go to the tight end 1, whose his average draft position overall is 4. Average draft position. I'm looking at it right now. Average draft.
That's crazy. But go ahead.
Okay, average draft position. Okay, in the first round. In the first round. Travis Kelce. This is the reason why I wanted to talk about tight ends first. Average draft position for a tight end, and I've said this before, and I had him deeper in the first round, but I'm looking at the average draft position, and he is 4. Travis Kelce, what's your thoughts on that in the first round?
You know, I don't have Travis Kelce in the first round.
Okay.
Some people do. I don't have Travis Kelce till mid to late second. Here's the reason why. I think there's way more value than Travis Kelce to be had that I can add to my team because the value of the running back, it doesn't taper off. It drops off. Same thing can be said about the tight end. But again, number 4 overall, that means you're putting him above players that are going to be on the field and touching the ball way more than he is per game.
Okay.
And in PPR, you get paid by the touches. So I think this is number 4 is a very bad position for Travis Kelce. Now, if you're at the back end of the draft and you got back-to-back picks and you still get a decent running back, okay. But not number 4. Not at all.
You think not? Well, Travis Kelce.
Who's ever me?
And like I said, he's the elite of the elite tight ends. since and over the 7 years that Travis Kelce of the 10 years that Travis Kelce is going into now. Since 2016, Travis Kelce has had over 11 over 1,000 yards, I would say, and at least averaged 7 or 8 touchdowns for a tight end. And those numbers are wide receivers numbers, man. Those numbers are wide receivers. He since 2016 up to 2022, he hasn't had less than 1,000 yards. Most of the last 3 years, 1,400 yards in 2020, 2021, 1,125, 2022, 1,333. And he had 12 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns in 21, 11 touchdowns in 20. So he's more or less averaged double-digit touchdowns and about 1,200 yards the last 3 years. The last 3 years. That's wide receiver one numbers. So I can see why some people would put him at number 4 with the equivalent of being with Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I'm not calling him that, but I can see a justification for him being the number 4 pick. You get an elite tight end with wide receivers numbers, and then you can work on your other players, your running back, because you're going to get crazy targets and more than likely at least 8 touchdowns a game, because he's Patrick Mahomes' favorite target as a tight end. Okay, let me talk to you about these other ones, and I would say I wouldn't say it's a big drop off, but it's a big drop off, because we got Mark Andrews, T.J. Hawkinson, which is in the second and third round, and then George Kittle, Kyle Pitts. I ain't too high on Kyle Pitts this year at all. And let's talk about him. Okay, Kyle Pitts, overall pick is 67. That's somewhere between the 5th and 6th round. Talk to me about Kyle Pitts.
I had Kyle Pitts this year. Very big disappointment. Only not because of his talent, but the system he's in. The system he is in does not lend itself to tight end friendly receiving ability. Now, you could say in Tennessee it did. Delaney Walker and all these other guys. Yes. However, Desmond Ridder is going to have to connect with him. Desmond Ridder is also going to have to connect with Drake London. And whoever else is the wide receiver. I don't see Atlanta throwing the ball more than 20, 25 times a game. To me, that says maybe 3 or 4 targets per game. I'll use a quote from A.J. Brown when he's with Tennessee. And Justin Jefferson won Rookie of the Year. And they were going back and forth on Twitter, stating was not that difficult to get those numbers when you're getting 9, 11 targets a game. Try doing it when you're getting 4 or 5 targets a game. That's where Kyle Pitts is. He's going to try to get 1,100 yards, 1,000 yards, XYZ yards with 4 to 5 targets a game. With his talent, that's a shame. Just like Dalton Kincaid. I mean, on any other team, he would be the Travis Kelce. On any other team. Again, put him on New Orleans. Put him in Los Angeles. Totally different outcome. He moves from like a 5th or 6th to maybe a 3rd, maybe even a 2nd.
Yeah.
So the justification is there to have him in the 5th round, but the talent says otherwise. It's just the team and the structure of their offense.
Well, let me ask you this question. Arthur Smith is the head coach / offensive coordinator. Okay. And he came from Tennessee. And Tennessee was a strong running team, a conservative team, and also threw a lot to the tight end. So now he's over there. He's in control of the whole team, including the offense. It's a conservative team. They run the ball a lot. I think they're the second highest running team in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And conservative offense, usually when they run the ball, they pretty much limit what the quarterback does and what kind of throws he makes.
Mm-hmm.
And that would lead me to say that Kyle Pitts should be a strong. Now, I'm not saying that, but in most cases, logically, because you said the offense, but the offense is just the offense they had in Tennessee, and he threw to the tight end a lot, Delaney Walker and all the other tight ends. So what I'm saying is this: why not carry it over?
And my rebuttal?
Go ahead.
Has he done that over the past 3 to 4 years he's been the head coach? No. The answer is no. The answer is unequivocally no. He's been the head coach for Atlanta for 3 seasons. So you're asking me or anybody else the wrong question. You need to ask that of Mr. Smith, because if he's running the whole show and he was the offensive coordinator and the tight end was featured, why is it now the tight end not featured? Is it the QB play? Because then I can go back and say you had my man from Oregon at quarterback going to Delaney Walker.
Can I read?
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. So I don't get it.
You didn't have Ryan. You didn't have Ryan Tannehill on Atlanta. Who you had on Atlanta was
not Atlanta, Tennessee.
Okay, well I'm talking about Atlanta. And the quarterback they had on Atlanta the first year was Matt Ryan. And
okay.
Wait a minute.
No, I didn't say anything. I'm liking it.
Wait a minute, because I'm
liking it.
I'm going back and forth here. Okay, they had Matt Ryan, who's a very good quarterback, even though he started to wane dramatically before he decided to retire after he went to Indianapolis. The second year, Kyle Pitts was in there. They had Marcus Mariota,
who was in.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
And they had Desmond Ridder, who finished up the season last year, and Kyle Pitts, and the combination of Kyle Pitts getting hurt and only played 10 games. He only played 10 games. It had a little over 350 yards. Okay, so I'm playing devil's advocate here. We don't know a full season with Desmond Ridder is going to have Kyle Pitts prosper and a healthy Kyle Pitts prosper, but the history of the coach and tight ends history would suggest that and the combination of a young quarterback would suggest that the best friend of a young quarterback, I've always said this, is a tight end. So getting the ball out, conservative offense, getting the ball out of your hand quick, nice short throw over the middle to a tight end makes sense to me. But we don't know we don't know how much the tight end is going to be used, even though the history of the coach in another situation with the same type of offense suggests that the tight end is going to be used a lot. Your point.
Well, I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
But you just made a very good point.
Mhm.
Matt Ryan, seasoned quarterback.
Yep.
And he still only got 1,000 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The quarterback that was running this same offense in Tennessee comes over and gets him nothing through 10 games. Who was making Delaney Walker look good, who made the passing attack look decent, but loses his job at the end of the season to the rookie. My point is, having him in the 5th, Kyle Pitts in the 5th or 6th round at this point is very, I didn't want to say, is very accurate because we don't know what's going to happen. Young quarterback versus old quarterback. That's the point that I wanted to get to when you brought it up. Seasoned quarterback versus, I'm not going to say Marcus wasn't seasoned, but Marcus has never been that guy. He's had the job, but he's never been that guy.
Okay.
And Ritter is going to be the guy, but he needs to learn how to be that guy. So I'm a wait and see on Kyle Pitts. I really am. I really am.
All right. And this is curious to me because the fact is, this guy is going a round later, okay, and he's proven a lot more, been in the league longer, and proven a lot more than Kyle Pitts, and he's moved to a new team with a offensive coordinator that is known to be have his quarterback get the tight end heavily involved. He's going on in the average of the 6th round. His overall draft position is 77. He's listed in tight end 6. He was one of the favorite targets of Derek Carr, and now he's got Daniel Jones who's throwing him the football. I'm talking about Darren Waller. Why is Darren Waller average draft position is 10 positions past or further down than Kyle Pitts? Talk to me. I don't understand that.
Now, I'll say this. I don't know where you're getting your numbers from or your average draft positions from, but it's a flawed site. Why is it flawed?
I'm looking at Fantasy Football Pros.
And they're flawed.
Okay.
Because Darren Waller, I know he had the injury history last year.
Yep.
He wanted to get out of Vegas. I think Derek Carr was talking about him when he was talking about people trying to, not giving their all, so on and so forth. But that was his reasoning for getting out. Darren Waller is in a system that's going to feature the running back and the wide receivers. But this site, FFP, I was about to say something I shouldn't have said. Their stuff right now on Darren Waller is so far left that it doesn't make sense. This man is going to get the lion's share of targets. We have a young receiving core, right? They got Paris Campbell. They got Darius Slayton. Not saying he's young, but he's your number 1 guy now, right? Jalen Hyatt, who I love. I forget the other receiver, the young kid they got from Buffalo. The shortest hands is Waller. And if we remember, Evan Ingram received a lot more targets when he was there. Last year, Bellinger became a fantasy football pickup must because that's who Danny Dimes likes to throw to. Darren Waller remains in the top 5 tight ends. If the reasoning behind FFP's movement to the 7th round is because he moved to the Giants. That shows they have no confidence in Danny Dimes or Danny Dollars, because he's not making dimes anymore. He's making dollars.
Yeah, Danny Dollars.
I vehemently disagree with that projection because it's not taking into account the quarterback's proclivity to throw to the tight end.
Right.
Nor is it taking into account Darren Waller's talent. What it's taking into account is Daniel Jones's history. They don't believe he's moved past his first 4 years in the NFL. And they think Darren Waller might become an injured player again. I don't think so. I think that's a false narrative. And Waller, to me, is easily a 3rd, 4th round pick, if not higher, because of the productivity he can provide.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the. You know what? Maybe I'll go to one more tight end because I got issues with this. I don't understand it. And it's between Dallas Goedert, who's the equivalent and is within the same round, but he's tight end 7, and Evan Ingram.
Dallas Goedert 7?
Dallas Goedert, tight end 7, going in the same round as Darren Waller, and Evan Ingram, tight end 8, going in the 8th round. As overall average draft position is 86. Talk to me about that because I don't understand. I'm looking at these consensus and from 2 sources. I don't understand why those tight ends, which are high volume tight ends, are below Kyle Pitts. And
I don't understand why they got the grade they got. But
talk to me about those 2, the tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Evan Ingram, and then we'll move on to maybe wide receivers or running backs.
To me,
yeah,
these projections are very, very skewed and flawed. Skewed to regression.
Okay.
They're believing whoever the quarterbacks are of these teams are going to regress and move away from these tight ends. Dallas Goedert was the 2nd leading reception person for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Even though he was hurt for maybe 1 or 2 games, can't remember.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Evan Ingram became Trevor Lawrence's security blanket. Now I get it. Evan Ingram was playing for a contract, and he's had a very bad injury history. That was with the Giants. Now it's time to see what he does year 2 in Jacksonville. So I can kind of see him being where he is. I kind of can. But Dallas Goedert, no. Only way I see Goddard being a 7th round pick is if you go, and this is just thought process, running back, receiver, running back, and then tight end. Or quarterback, then tight end. That's the only way I see that.
Okay.
But I Jerry, I'm not going to put down your sources because this is what you use to make your decisions and stuff like that. But I would advise.
Well, I only,
different source.
I only put this out here because I'm looking at average draft position. I'm not adhering to this. That's why I wanted to have this show and have some discussion of what I'm seeing. That's all. I mean, this is not what I believe. This is what I see. And I just decided to pick this site to see an average draft position, and I wanted to get your feedback. That's why we're here.
Okay. I gotta go get a drink after this because that's terrible. And I will be right back. I will be right back.
All right, people. I've gone through several tight ends. I think I want to move to wide receivers All right, and then ended um with running backs. End the show with running backs. So I'm going to go here, and I know Mr. FSP and this is the reason, one reason why I'm jumping on this first, okay, and putting this out there first, because the fact is I know what Mr. FSP is going to say about this. Now, this wide receiver, we're going to wide receivers now. This wide receiver is wide receiver 10, the 24th overall pick. He averaged in the 10th round, and he's listed as wide receiver 24. He's out of Miami, and talk about Jalen Waddle.
The 10th round.
His average pick is in the 10th round, wide receiver 24. I had to do this first. Talk to me about Jalen Waddle and being the 24th wide receiver taken in the 10th round.
What I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Taylor is trying to invoke some type of emotion from me.
Yes, I am.
And this is not proper, but it's okay. Listen. Okay. I'm just going to keep it real. Okay.
I want you to be real. Don't worry about it.
Your informational sites are garbage.
Okay.
Pure garbage.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me explain why I said that.
Okay, please explain.
His numbers have been better than Tyreek Hill over the past 2 years.
I knew we were going to say that.
And yet, 10th round, and some people, and I bet you this site has them, Tyreek Hill, that is, probably number 2 or number 3 overall with their crazy skewed viewpoint. So if someone has better production without a player on their team and better production with that same player on their team, one's in the 1st round, one's in the 10th round, what does that say? There's a bias for a name. Jalen Waddle is better than the 10th round. Jalen Waddle, in fact, I believe Jalen Waddle this year, I have him as a top 10 wide receiver. I would say late second at the very beginning of the 3rd round, not the 10th, especially when the numbers don't lie, except for this site that Jerry is using to provoke an emotion. He's trying to get me to set it off. I know he is.
No, I'm not.
You're the crack in his voice. That's how you know he's lying. But go ahead.
This is the reason why I wanted to talk about average draft position. Everybody has a different opinion, and you know I'm a numbers guy. Numbers don't lie. I said pay attention to the numbers, not the name. I've always said that. And this is the reason why I'm doing this. Just for this fact: 75 receptions, 117 targets, 1,356 yards, and 8 touchdowns is what Jalen Waddle had. And let's for the sake of argument, I'm going to go to his counterpart. I'm definitely going to go to his counterpart. And Tyreek Hill, who was wide receiver 3 and within a 3rd pick in the 1st round, and like I said, his overall draft position in a 12-team draft would be 7. He would be picked 7. Okay, and his average draft position, believe it or not, his average draft position or average draft round is the 3rd round. Okay, it's the 3rd round. So he's overall he's the wide receiver 3, and he would be in the 3rd round. 3rd round. So talk to me about Tyreek Hill. I'm going to give you his numbers after you give me what's your thoughts on Tyreek Hill.
I think too many people have him in the first round. You said that he's a third rounder. I don't think he's a third rounder. But that's confusing to me if he's wide receiver number 3 and most sites, legitimate sites, I'll say that, have this guy in their first round. I don't know where we're getting the third round from. You can help me out with that. But Tyreek Hill is definitely worth his weight in gold, but not before, in my opinion, you grab a running back. Listen. If you're pairing Tyreek Hill with your Nick Chubb, or you're pairing him with your Austin Eckler, or you're pairing him with your Christian McCaffrey, that's a dynamite pairing. But you're going to lose that if you get him in the first round, and you're going to have to pair him with somebody like, I don't know,
Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs.
Nah. I would say someone like
Nick Chubb.
No, I already said Nick Chubb. A Brandon Cooks. I'm just putting him out there because that's you're going to get in the second round.
Okay.
Right. You're not going to get Brandon Cooks. I mean, you're not going to get Cooks in the second round. I'm just putting the likes of him out there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it to drop that far in the running back room for Tyreek? And I say no, especially if I believe he can be had early to mid second round. Third round, I don't think so. Too early in the first round, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not. Just my thoughts. So you got to explain to me how he's wide receiver number 3, but getting picked in the third round. That means a crap ton of running backs and only 2 receivers are picked in the first 3 rounds. So I don't get that.
Okay, I understand. Tyreek Hill, last year, 119 receptions, 1,710 yards, which is a lot better than Jalen Waddle, and only 1 less touchdown, 7 touchdowns. So Tyreek Hill proved to be a top wide receiver over Jalen Waddle. So what you're saying about Jalen Waddle had better numbers? No, he didn't. Tyreek Hill had 119 receptions, 1,700 yards.
But how does that go from being wide receiver number 3 and being picked in the third round? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I was saying. Didn't make sense. You said that Tyreek Hill is rated wide receiver number 3, but drafted in the third round. So I'm missing the correlation.
Let me look at this again. I could be reading it wrong. No, his average is maybe wide receiver number 3. Oh, he would be the third pick, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Whatever. All right, let's move on to
how does that explain? That still didn't explain what you said, but okay, your show. I'm here for the ride.
I'm just looking at this and I'm trying to it's
because third pick overall versus third round or third wide receiver overall.
No, he's the middle of the third round. Oh, I'm looking at middle of the third round.
So how is he rated the wide receiver number 3 though? That doesn't make sense to me.
There's a lot of other wide receivers. I wouldn't say a lot of other wide receivers, but there's a lot of
running backs.
Running backs, yeah. I would say that. We'll see. We'll go through the running backs, and it may be clearer after that. Now we had talked about this, and I'm thinking this guy is going to be. Well, I think he's about where he should be. Okay, I know you're going to dispute it, I know that, but that's okay. He's the 13th wide receiver. I mean, number 7 wide receiver. Overall, 13th pick. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly. So, what again? The sites you're using, I don't know what their metrics are, but it doesn't make sense.
His average draft position is 13. Okay.
So 13 would be the first pick in the second round.
First pick in the second round. And I'm thinking that Devontae Adams is a second round pick. He is not a first round pick. And the reasons I've said that before is because of the quarterback. And he has questions about the offense and including the quarterback. And there are big questions about the quarterback if he's going to make it to the first game of the season, or if he's going to even going to be on a team. I'm talking about Jimmy G. And the quarterbacks behind him are questionable. So Devontae Adams, 7th wide receiver taken, first pick in the second round. I have to dispute that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know it's Devontae Adams, but he can't throw the ball to himself. And there's questions about the quarterback. Talk to me.
I'm confused.
What are you confused about?
Okay, he's wide receiver number 7.
Yep.
And picked 13th overall.
Yep.
First pick in the second round.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill is wide receiver number 3 and picked in the middle of the third round. This is why whatever you're using is
take away what I told you about the third round. He's within the he's wide receiver number 3. So obviously he's not going to be in the third round. Obviously.
But that's not what they put. Anyway, I can't, based on the information you've been sharing, all I can say is this is a false narrative. Now, Devontae could be the first pick in the second round. I can see how somebody can do that. I have him in the top 8, if not number 5 or 6. Jimmy G or not, they're going to throw him the ball. If you look at what happened when Stidham came in last year, that's all he threw to. So they're going to give Adams his targets. Will the team be productive? I don't think so. Especially not if Jimmy G's not there. However, I can see Devontae being the first pick in the second round because I have him in the middle towards the end of the first. So this one, I can't argue too much on, but based on the information you shared with us previously, it would be I don't get what they're doing. So,
I think I get what they're doing here. All right. When I'm looking,
can you explain it to me and everybody?
What they have the wide receivers in numbers quite naturally, and then they have them in an overall pick in a draft, but the average of where they're picked is what I'm telling you. So
I get it.
The average where they're picked, not the average round, but the average where they're actually picked. That's what I'm talking about.
So people are picking Tyreek Hill on average in the middle of the third round. So how does that make him a wide receiver number 3?
The average is middle of the third pick. Let me put it that way. Third pick, between the third and fourth pick in the first round.
Okay, so you said it wrong.
Yeah, I did say it wrong. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Because and this plays out because I'm looking at it right now. Devontae Adams, he's a number 7 overall. Number 7 wide receiver overall. That he's the 13th pick, and his average where people are taking him is between 6 and 7.
Okay.
You follow
That makes sense because that's why I said I'd have him.
Right.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Okay.
Because what you said before, I'm like, that didn't make no sense.
I know it was confusing to me, and I had to put it through my small little brain before I got it correct. But that's okay.
I didn't want to say that.
I know that, but that's okay. I'm saying it myself.
Go ahead.
That's all right. And let me. And this one guy, ooh, I don't know, man. It's wow. One of my favorite receivers. One of the receivers I turned you on to. He's out of Philly. He's the 14th, right below Devontae Adams, but he's got a better quarterback situation. He's the wide receiver number 8 overall. He's 14, and he is in pick number 8 within the 4th round. I mean, within the 1st round. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say not the 4th round.
Yeah, but AJ Brown, a pick below Devontae Adams.
I wouldn't have AJ Brown in the 1st round at all.
With a better quarterback position.
I don't have AJ Brown in the 1st round at all. If he's wide receiver number 8 with an average pick of 14, I don't even have him that high up. I really don't.
Okay.
I actually have Garrett Wilson ahead of him. I have
Garrett Wilson is overall 22nd and wide receiver 11 below AJ Brown.
I have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson above AJ Brown. The reason why I have that way, and neither or none of these 3 players on my rankings are near the beginning of the 2nd round. They're either at the end of the 2nd or beginning of 3rd. Again, if I'm getting AJ Brown, that means I'm pairing him with whoever I got at number 11. For me, that pairing is important. It is very important.
Okay.
It's the foundation of my team. So if I have a strong running back or a strong wide receiver, I'm not going to double up on wide receivers. Because by the time I get a pick in the 3rd round, all the decent running backs are gone. Because all the solid running backs are gone.
Okay.
So for me, AJ Brown he might be number 1 in Philly, but he's actually a number 2 receiver in fantasy. He has good numbers, but nowhere near, in my opinion, because I'm forecasting, nowhere near better than what Garrett Wilson or Amon-Ra St. Brown are going to have.
All right.
I don't think, and again, he or Goddard was a leading receiver for Philly. Not sure which one. But AJ had a very, very good year, better than he's ever had in Tennessee. But I don't think he's going to have gangbuster numbers to make him the 8th best wide receiver this year. I just don't think he is. Somebody's got to pick up the vacuum for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin because we both believe they're going to drop significantly because of the quarterback play. I don't know what your site says. I have no idea what your site says, but, I'm not in agreement with it.
Okay. Let's move on. Now we're going to go to, running backs. And I think I'm going to start with this guy first. I know I'm going to get a good reaction from you from this guy.
See, you're looking for a reaction. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I get a good response from you when I get a reaction from you. Not saying that you don't give me a good response any other way, but I really want you to hear this. Really want to hear it from you. He's a running back 4 overall. The 9th pick. His average being picked is the 4th running back being picked, and he's a rookie. You know what I'm talking about. You know that he's been hyped up beyond reality. Bijan Robinson, overall 4th running back taken off the board. He's listed as running back 4. He's overall pick is the 9th pick in the 1st round. Talk to me.
No.
Okay.
He is not.
Okay.
Not because of his talent, but because we don't know what the timeshare is going to look like. If I knew what the timeshare looked like, I would probably say, okay, I can ride with that. But at this present time, I'm not going to put a rookie above an Aaron Jones. I'm not going to put a rookie, especially splitting time, above the king, Derrick Henry. It's not, in my opinion, smart business. I'm not putting him above Nick Chubb. It's just not smart business until we know what his role is going to be.
Well, from what I understand, from all the sites that I've been checking out, they've been using him all over the field. And if one thing I can bank on, and I wouldn't say guarantee, but I can bank on this, that a rookie running back, a highly touted rookie running back, a Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley, Jonathan Taylor, is going to be used. And in their first year, Adrian Peterson, rookie of the year, Jonathan Taylor, and Todd Gurley, and Saquon Barkley all showed out. They all showed out. And the two running backs, and I'm not going to discount it, but it's a problem with those 2 running backs you talked about, Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry. They're I wouldn't say they're one-trick pony, but they're limited in catching the football. Wherein the running backs I labeled, and I can also say Chris McCaffrey in that list of Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, and Adrian Peterson is the only outlier that doesn't catch the football on a regular basis, and it is a all-around serviceable back. Bijan Robinson can be used in the slot. He can be used in the backfield, running football corner. That's his position. He can definitely catch the football out of the backfield, which he's proven. This position in fantasy is probably the most reliable position that you can count on. The running backs that you can count on being rookies, because it's over the years. I just named a few of them. Over the years, it's been proven that those rookie running backs, highly touted, are what they're advertised as advertised, I should say. So, at a draft position of running back 4, draft position 9, he may be too low, in my opinion. He may be too low. Overall, 9th in the 1st round. His average is 4th in the 1st round. So I got to disagree with you. There's one running back that I like in here, and high draft capital is this guy. I know he may be in a timeshare with a 1,000-yard rookie they had last year in Tyler Algier, but I think he's going to get the lion's share of this conservative offense. You have to understand that they're going to run the football a lot. They have a young second-year quarterback. They're going to use that running back position a lot. They're going to use him a lot. They use high draft capital to pick him up in the first place. That's telling you we want this guy and we are going to use this guy. Arthur Smith, second, I think they're the second most, if not the most, running team in the NFL. So I got to believe that B.J. Robinson, barring health, that's always the case with some of these players, barring health, it's going to be as advertised. All right, let's move on to another running back that I got questions about. They drafted another running back, but this guy, and I know you like this guy. He's 10th. He's the 10th overall. I mean, he's the 10th running back. He's listed as running back 10, 25th overall. And he's the 11th running back taken on average. I got to believe that this is Travis Etienne. Tank Bisbee is in there, who happens to be a back, can run it, catch the football out of the backfield. Mr. FSP, I got Travis Etienne as running back. What did I say? 10? Yes, running back 10, 25th overall. Talk to me.
So that's the first pick in the third round. I got him a lot higher than that. Travis Etienne is going to be that dog. I have him early second. So running back 10 picked at spot 15 or 14, if not higher.
Oh, wow. Really? Really?
Yeah. Dual threat running back. Not sharing the ball that much anymore. Dual threat running back.
Wow. Well, Travis Etienne had only 35 receptions last year. Only 35 receptions last year for 316 yards with 0 touchdowns. And he played every game. That's fine. With 0 touchdowns. He had 5 rushing touchdowns. 220 attempts and just over 1,100 yards. And now he has another running mate behind him who they drafted. And Doug Peterson, when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, he had a tandem running backs. He had committee running backs. Do you think he's going to do that with possibly the Tank Bisbee that they drafted? And that takes away the fantasy value from Travis Etienne. I'm just asking. I'm not disputing what's your opinion. I'm just asking you.
I think Travis Etienne, who had more, he had touchdowns. I don't know where you're getting these no touchdowns from. Remember, I had him on my team. So, again, the information you have is flawed. Travis Etienne got in the end zone at least 3 to 4 times that I can recall. But it is what it is. Tank Bigsby coming in. I understand the trepidation, but I also don't think that Tank is going to take up that much space. Tank might end up being a short yardage guy. I will say that. But the pretty much every down back is Trevor Lawrence's real life best friend in Travis Etienne.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get out of here, because it's about that time, is there anything that you want to say besides promoting your show for Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
I will say reading is fundamental, people, and certain sites make it difficult for people to understand what it is they're trying to do. I'm not the expert but I am. I'm not paid to give you insight. Not yet. But the information that is shared, I will be honest, is based on numbers and my gut. So a little bit of science and a little bit of
Experience.
Thank you. So whatever I give you, you can take it to the bank. You can cash it. Might bounce once, but ain't gonna bounce every time. And I'm never gonna be someone to say I told you so on one event. I'm gonna say I told you so about the event, and then I'm like, okay, well, I was wrong on this, that, and the third. A lot of these sites don't do that. They don't do that. So please, by all means, take everything that you read and hear with a grain of salt. There is no one perfect solution, analyst, or statistic. So with that being said, this Saturday, I got to see what's going on in the news to make a decision whether or not we're talking about the news or I want to get into the divisional breakdowns. I kind of want to get to divisional breakdowns because I don't want to spend 2 to 3 hours breaking down two divisions. So, yeah, I'll go. Oh, yeah, because I got a movie I got to see next week. No, not next week, but we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. Not there yet. Not sure. But every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, Fantasy Sports and Politics with me, Smith FSP. We'll see what happens. JT is there, and we'll banter because he tried to provoke me today, y'all. He did on purpose. But I'm not gonna let him have his way. But I know what he did. And you see that smile says it all.
Wait a minute. Look. I admitted that was going to be. I even said earlier it's going to be controversial. It's going to be I would say confrontational. It's going to be conversational that I wanted to bring up. So I mean, average draft position is can be a sticking point with a lot of people. Can be like, come on, you're gonna draft this guy ahead of this guy, just like you were talking about. Jalen Waddle over Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson, and I'm just naming a few. That's that's what it's about. It's about conversation and opinions. Your opinion versus my opinion versus someone else's opinion. It doesn't make a difference. It's just sports talk. Okay, it's just sports talk. With that being said, I appreciate you, people. I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up and showing out. And tune in next week. Like I said, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Sunday morning is where I'll be at. FSP to you will be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday afternoon. And I'm out of here. We're out of here. See ya.